The Arizona Cardinals cannot run this back with Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, and Steve Keim in 2023.
I see you've read the piece I've yet to write that will be published on Friday.
Is that right? Okay, well,
that is
I
correct.
like when that happens. Let's talk it out here. I mean, listen, this has been a topic of conversation really since early in the offseason when we all saw what was happening with that organization. But the way it's played out, and I forgive you if you did not watch their game on Sunday, this game was a disaster. The Cardinals offense failed to score a touchdown against the Seattle Seahawks. They kicked the field goal on their first drive, and they failed to produce any points on their next 9 possessions. This was against a defense that was a complete mess through the first 5 weeks of the season, ranked 31st in EPA per drive. They couldn't do anything. I thought there was a stretch in the fourth quarter that really told the story of those 3 guys that I just mentioned, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, and Steve Keim, the GM, all who, by the way, got extensions in the offseason. Third down, Kyler Murray throws a pass behind Zach Ertz. Listen, I see Kyler Murray's talent like everyone else. Kyler Murray has not played well. I mean, if you watch him, there are plays every week where you look at him and you say, wow, that's unbelievable. There's not a lot of quarterbacks who can do that. If you watch every play, you go, man, he is leaving a lot of plays and a lot of points on the table. He misses a throw. They face a 4th and 2. Guess what? Cliff Kingsbury isn't prepared for a play call. This happens every single week. This team wastes timeouts like none other in the entire NFL. So he wastes a timeout, whatever. It's a high leverage situation. If you want to make sure you have the right call, I understand it. If you're doing it once in a while, it's fine. It frustrates me that they do it so often. And this is a close game where you need your timeouts, but whatever. They come back out onto the field. A receiver falls down. The offensive line gets beat and Murray gets sacked on 4th and 2. And so now you're seeing some of the deficiencies in the roster, which Steve Keim is responsible for. And this team has just been so disorganized the entire season, week in and week out, wasted timeouts, game management errors. Murray is not playing well. They trade a 6th and a 7th for Robbie Anderson today, which it's like, okay, that's fine. I don't really care. It's a 6th and a 7th. But did you honestly need to give? I don't even know that you had to give up even that much for Robbie Anderson, given what we saw on the sidelines there. He's going to replace Marquise Brown. That's really not going to change anything for the Arizona Cardinals. And so as an organization, I just look at it. Cliff Kingsbury is now 26, 28, and 1 as a head coach. This will be their 4th. This is their 4th season together. I don't like to call for people to get fired, but I was thinking back on that homework clause, which we all make fun of. And I think one thing great clause, unbelievable content. Please have more of those in your contracts going forward. Players, coaches, GMs, owners, anyone who is listening, agents, we really appreciate those. But
I would accept the homework clause in my next contract with the Ringer exclusively for the bit.
There you go. But the one thing I was thinking about just today as I was getting ready for the pod is that clause told us that Cliff Kingsbury doesn't understand what his job is, and the organization doesn't understand what his job is. The job of the head coach is to connect with the players on the roster, maximize their potential of each and every one. Does Murray have to take responsibility? Yes, absolutely. But you reach him through human interaction, through this thing called coaching, not through a clause in his freaking contract. So this team just frustrates me to no end. Again, they all got extensions in the offseason, so it could get a little bit messy. But I just cannot see a scenario where you bring these 3 people back in 2023 and expect different results. That might sound crazy to say after week 6, but I couldn't get that out of my head as I watched that game against the Seahawks.
No, it's extremely important because your pillars of your team are quarterback, head coach, general manager, right? This is what we build around. These are the 3 pillars of the team. And when the team starts playing poorly, you say, all right, you 3 are responsible for turning this around. And then after some time, if they don't turn around, you say, okay, somebody's got to go. We have to make a change somewhere. This isn't working. We're not winning football games. You might feel like it's unfortunate. It sucks. There's a lot of other reasons why, but one of the 3 of you has to go. This is just how football works. We're going to make a change of head coach, make a change of general manager, make a change of quarterback. The Cardinals place themselves in a unique position by extending all 3 members of that triumvirate this past offseason, which is basically a clear message. Like the only other teams you see do this are teams that win Super Bowls. And the Cardinals got ousted in the first round of the NFC playoffs. Badly.
Disastrous second half of the season, yeah.
Yes. You're saying, hey, not a single one of you 3 is in jeopardy of being exposed as the weak pillar in our team building structure. which makes the Cardinals' next step fascinating.
Yeah.
Because, okay, like you're not winning because of you're not winning, but you have these three pillars. You've invested time in these three pillars. You've said with your money that these three pillars are the problem solvers. Okay, so you must need to make changes elsewhere, right? They also extended everybody else. They extended Jalen Thompson. They extended DJ Humphries. They got multiple first-round draft picks starting on the defensive line. They got JJ Watt in the building. Traded for DeAndre Hopkins. Traded for Marquise Brown. Traded for Robbie Anderson.
Zach Ertz.
Every dude they extended Zach Ertz. Every dude on the whole team is a guy that they went and acquired for this coaching staff by this front office with this quarterback at the helm. There is no the line is left over from the last guy's tenure. No, they're all guys acquired by this triumvirate, this think tank of the Arizona Cardinals. So you can't even be like, if we were just better at the line and better at receiver and better at corner. No, those are all the guys that you knew you had when you made these extensions. So now it goes back to, okay, you have to get rid of one of the three, even though you just extended them. It's legitimately fascinating to consider what the Cardinals are going to do next, because no team has ever painted themselves this clearly into a corner before.
And the other thing is the politics of it and how NFL organizations work. I mean, you mentioned one of the three. It feels sort of like a 2 versus 1, GM and coach or quarterback. And so if you look at it, you would think the harder thing to find is the quarterback, if you believe in the quarterback's talent. But then you look at it, the owner is the one who signs off on that clause in his contract. And the owner, the GM has the owner's ear. I mean, Steve Keim has survived several coaches in Arizona. We see this with some organizations. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I just know that from what I've seen after 6 weeks, and hey, listen, maybe DeAndre Hopkins will come back and they'll win some games. I don't think that they're going to win a lot of games, even though I do think he's a difference maker for that offense. I think it's going to end with some major moves for them.